everyone, Leslie Ray here with a Tuesday tutorial by Digital Delights by Libby Lou. Today I'm going to share with you how to use alcohol markers, and for this project I will be working with the Queen Bee from the June release, some special cardstock which I'll talk to you about in a minute, alcohol markers, Wink of Stella or glitter and glue, some foam tape to finish up my project. Now, you can color with alcohol markers of any variety and any kind of cardstock. What I am using today is Nina cardstock, which has got a special finish on it that makes using alcohol markers very, very, very easy and yummy, and I highly recommend you using the Nina cardstock. And then for alcohol markers, in the past I've done this tutorial where I use the big markets. Today I'm going to do it with the Spectrum Noir pens, but the process is the same. You have an image. I have printed my image out on a laser printer, but you could use a regular inkjet printer if you prefer. And I've chosen a selection of markers to use. The Spectrum Noir puts their marker numbers on the end. And what I like to do, especially if a marker will allow it, is to have a light, a medium, and a dark. A light, a medium, and a dark of things. So these are going to be for the main body of my bee. And then right now I have this gray kind of is a very light, and I will use this darker one, and depending on how it looks I might go even darker. I have a IG10 that I might use with the IG7 and the IG9. These two markers, this is an accent for my little bee's cheeks, and this is going to be for the end when I like to go around the outside and make it kind of pop. So here's our image. I love this little bee. She's very sweet. And I'm going to start coloring with my medium color first, and then I will come back in and add some light and some dark. So what I like about using a laser printer is that I don't have to worry about going over these black lines and my ink smearing. Not always, but sometimes I get that effect when I'm using my inkjet printer, but with the laser printer I don't get that effect at all. And you can see I'm kind of going by an outline here, and I like to kind of outline my medium around my eyes sometimes. Depends on the object really. And then I might go ahead and go on the inside of my bee's mouth. And the neat thing about alcohol markers is they react with each other. So when I come back in here with a little bit darker and a little bit lighter, it's going to blend. And since we are blending, I like to work with a piece of paper or cardstock underneath my paper that I'm coloring on, so that anything that bleeds through will bleed through onto that paper. And it seems to, maybe I just imagine this, but it seems to help facilitate the blending as well. Okay, so those are the main parts of my bee that are going to be yellow. I'll go ahead and kind of base in the body. And the neat thing about alcohol markers is if you have a blending marker or a marker that you filled with the white or the clear alcohol blending solution, you can use it kind of as an eraser if you get out of lines. So here is, I go in with the darker color. And right now I'm just kind of adding it in. I haven't started attempting to blend, so you'll see kind of a line there already. And I'm going to go along my eyelashes on my bead, and along there. Okay. And I'm going to go along the outside of my bee bodies here. There we go. Now I'm going to come back in with my lightest color and color in here where I want it to be the lightest. There. And you can see I'm going all the way in to the darker color, and by going into those colors I'm blending them in, blending them together. Now this blending process you could do with your middle color or your lighter color, whichever makes you happier. And then coming down here, and then same with in between my little stripes. Add in some white. Right there. Okay, so I kind of like how he's going, and I want to add in a little bit of pink around the cheeks, right here. But because my bee is a nice golden color, I'm also going to come back over that pink just a little bit. And see, I think I want to add a little more pink back in, so I'm going to come back in with my pink. Here we go. There we go. Loving that. So, see what a difference that makes? Now, see where I've kind of gotten out the lines? Let me show you with the blender pen there. You want to make sure you have a blender pen that has some ink in it. And this one is just called Blender, that goes with Spectrum Noir. And I'm going to take, and where I've gotten out of the lines over here, I'm going to kind of color there. And that will lighten that up just a smidge. And again over here, color along that line to lighten that up. And you'll see those inks in those places kind of dissipate and get lighter. And it might take more than one application to get it to do that, and that's okay. But you want it to kind of lighten it. And I'm going to come back in anyway with a little bit different color there. So Just a little bit of color left there will be okay. Now, inside my bee's belly, where I've gotten a little sloppy with my coloring, I'm going to go back with a darker color anyway, and so that's not going to be as noticeable. So I'm not going to worry about cleaning up those edges so much as the edges where it should be white anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with what is my medium or lighter color, and I'm going to get a better color in here. And do that again for both stripes. And finally this last stripe. And while I'm getting that, I'm going to go ahead and get the bottoms of my shoes. And my legs. And up here in the bee's crown area, I'm going to get little everything but the crown. Now the crown, Sharpie makes some gold markers and stuff if you want to do that. What I'm going to do is go back in with a darker gold pen that has a little brown in it to color my crown so that it's a little more in line with the colors that I'm already using. And I'm going to leave my antenna white because I'm going to come in with just a white, a fine line black marker to color those in. Okay, so here's my little bee, almost colored. Let me get that darker golden brown color to put in there. Let's see. Now, another neat trick is to take a gray color and use as a shadow. And you can layer the gray on top of your colors to kind of add more depth if you want to. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. And there's this. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to color these tips gold too. And you'll see when I finish my card, I think I'm going to add some bling there to make that really pop. So, there you go. And then color in the shoes. I'm going to go with the light yellow for the shoes. Because I think yellow shoes on a bee is fun. Because it's kind of like when the bee has been going around to all the honey and gets gets pollen all over their feet. It's very cute. So there we go. And then the last two things I want to do is I want to darken this up a little bit. So I'm going to go with my little bit darker color. And then, again, darker up here under the crown. And depending on how much depth you want to give when you're coloring, you can really get a lot of shading and shadowing by getting layers of color. So here, I want to come back in with my lighter color and blend up into that dark. And same here. And sometimes just going back over with the same color can darken up a color. So I have a little spot here that I want to go back over with my blending tool, just to dress it up just a smidge more. Now, my wings, I'm going to come back over them with some glitter, but I want a base color, and I'm going to use this light blue for the base color for my wings. And that'll be a good color for the glitter pen, for the Wink of Stella, to go back over. And it adds just a little base color to our image here. Now, so you see the base color of the image. Now, the last thing I want to do is to go with a very light gray around the outside of my bee. I could do a light blue as well, but the gray, I just like the look of the gray. And so I'm going to go around, and this just kind of helps pop her out and is very inobtrusive to the rest of the picture. So sometimes I do this with a dotting method. Today I'm just coloring straight in. There's a tutorial on coloring with pointillism, and you could refer to that if you want to use the dotting method. I'll get you a link to it in the follow-up on the blog. So this is also the color of gray that if I wanted to go in and do some highlighting on the body and stuff to add a little extra shadow, like I'd go there and there, under his chin a little bit, that kind of thing. That'll add some extra depth, and this is the same kind of gray I would use for that. So only two things left. One is my black line for the antenna, and so I'm going to use this pen that I have over here, and great, make sure it works. It's a nice fine line pen. Just go in there and get that extra skinny line. And do this side as well. I love how using the 3 colors blends on their face. And like I said, even with using big markets, you can get at least 2 colors to blend there. Sometimes 3, depending on which colors you're using. So if you don't have an investment in Copics or Spectrum Noir, and you want to try this technique, by all means, alcohol markers include the variety of big markets and Sharpies. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is put just a little bit of sparkle here on the queen bee's wings and on her crown to give her that glistening look to those objects. And which is very simple to do with Spectrum Noir pens because they don't have any, they're not water based, they're alcohol based, and so the water base of the Wink of Stella pen does not affect them. So there we go. Check it out. I love it. Love my little guy. So I'm going to finish up my card. And you can kind of see right there the glisten on the crown and on the wings. And the lovely shading and the blending that happens in the yellows. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. So that's why I like alcohol markers. Is because you can blend them. It looks just really cool. So I hope you enjoyed my tutorial. Give it a try. Remember layers and blending, and just take your time. Enjoy it. Have fun. Thank you for stopping by. Remember, Digital Delights tutorial every Tuesday. Christine will be back next week with another delightful tutorial. Can't wait to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.